All right, well, we're about to take a lunch break. Phil is working on the 320 mils going in the top. It looks like those should have enough clearance for his electrical switches that he put in custom. So we're hoping that this gap here is enough. I am working on, now that our test boot was a success, getting the motherboard prepped for insertion. So I am getting these 240 mil fans attached. We've removed the cooler. I've got the thermal paste taken off. So then once we get this all built up exactly how we want, then we can slide the whole thing in and start working on attaching things. Actually, we'll put the cooler in first, then the motherboard. And then we won't attach the motherboard to the cooler until the very end, because then we got to start working on our wiring, and power supply will come shortly after that, I think. So oh, and other thing, we got I'm playing around with the drive bracket. You got our two 3.5-inch rated hard drives mounted to the back. So yeah, so we'll like I said, we're gonna eat some food here, and then we'll get back to it. So it's hard to see from the time-lapse footage, but what they're doing is they're putting in a LED strip right next to the 120 millimeter fans.
That doesn't fit.
And it looks like there's another plastic runner that they're trying to squeeze it into.
Try this again.
Do we need to heat it up?
You just break it like
that.
that.
Yeah, that was what I was afraid of.
I'm not afraid of it.
I mean, it's just 3D printed plastic.
Yeah.
I kind of want to break it, but a little.
Yeah, don't like snap it completely off.
Right. That's exactly what I'm going for.
So we're still smack dab in the middle of the wiring process, and I wanted to show a few things with this case. First of all, the EPS power cords are as crazy as I've ever had to do them. We had to come up through this hole, in between these two hard drives, and up and over because of the RGB light bars blocking the standard hole that you would use here. So we had to go around, and as a result, these are incredibly taut, but they're okay. I think we're going to be fine there. If we didn't have the big 3.5-inch hard drives, it would probably be a little bit easier, but these are part of Phil's RAID, and this is the only part of the case where you can even mount these, so we had to put them here. Now, what we're looking at here is one central channel for cable management, and it pretty much has to be one central channel. We don't have much choice. We've got his 2.5-inch SSD here. We've got his Corsair Commander lighting controller. We think we're going to put on the bottom here. I have this loose because I obviously want to make sure everything's final first. We've got our 5 RGB fans, our 3 on the top and 2 in the middle, plugged in, so that's good. What Phil's doing right now is plugging in our RGB light strips. So they are going to use this little controller box, and I believe that the plan will be to plug them into the alternate RGB port here. So Phil, I'd like you to explain what your thinking is for where you're going to put these. So like obviously you saw us earlier in the video, we were doing the 90-degree angle bend. It looks like you've got another 90 degree.
Yeah, around the fans here, but it's not magnetic, so the magnetic strips aren't holding. That's why this channel piece is really nice. It helps you make a nice 90, whereas my 90 over here is kind of got a big whoop in it.
Still, the two angled light bars together, I think that's going to look really good.
And then there's another one above.
Yeah, then we saw earlier in the video, we were putting the one in the roof of the case. You can see that long bar there. Do you have a spot yet picked out for the fourth one?
I don't. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it.
What about the floor? Are we thinking about maybe the floor?
Could be.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, probably where it'll end up.
All right, and as you can see, we've got the radiator in now. It's just hanging out. The graphics card will go in, one of the final things we'll put in. But the power supply went in okay. And most of the motherboard headers and power connectors, front panel connectors, all that are in. So we're mostly at the RGB section now, and once we're done with that, we can actually start closing her up. So we're getting there.